3 cup finals when Mikel was on your backroom team. Do you remember much about him, how he was on these sort of big occasions?
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was nice. It was the first, the first moment we were together when we arrived and win the first titles, and it was really, really cool.
That 2018 one was against Arsenal, of course. Was that sort of the most special in some ways, that your first one?
Yeah, it was. Maybe for Mikel not, because it was Arsenal, but for me definitely was. Yeah. For him as well. So we work a lot, hard, a lot to understand the Premier League, new players and many things. We spend is our job, a lot of time and energy, to read in good moments, bad moments, and of course, to start to break that routine and win the first title in the just short time. The second season was really good, and after came the very many good things.
Pep, you built several teams during the last 10 years here. With this current squad, how much time do you think you need for it to be peak, to be at its?
I had a feeling in many things we are just underneath, just it will flourish. I have the feeling that it's close. In the other things, we need a little bit more time to the people realize, or the players realize what we need to be. Strong teams in many departments, but in most of the things, they are close.
So not far, not it wouldn't take a lot.
No, in many things we are close.
And just what your mood has been like in the last few days in the aftermath of losing, getting knocked out of the Champions League. Your kind of feelings towards the squad.
No, I had the same feeling. So it's difficult, 75 minutes or 75 minutes, 10 against 11 with 4-0 down. It could be worse. So the people behave unbelievable. So because they had chances normally, but we had a lot too. 10 against 11 against Madrid. So we were there. There was always stuff there. But in both games, we were able to do in 10 games, 10 minutes, 11 minutes here. In Bernabeu, 90 minutes, we have 2 or 3, but here, in 10, 11 minutes, we have 4 chances, one against Courtois making incredible 4 saves, or to stop from the central defender. So we are able to do that. I never had doubt about that. So in important games in Etihad Stadium, we are able in a blitz, so in a moment we are able to create that. That is when I had the feeling that many things we are close to be, and the other things to be aware to. Maybe you have for the type of players that we have to really what we need to be consistent during 11 months in important games. It's much for the quality of the players that we have. We still a little bit the gap is a little bit not close, but in many aspects we are an extraordinary team. Otherwise, we will not be top 8 in the Champions League. We will not be second in the Premier League. Final Carabao Cup and quarterfinals FA Cup. So we are not that. After 9 months, we will not be here. Next season, I knew it, but in the past, when we won a lot of times, always I know what we need exactly to do it. And for many things, we need a little bit more time.
Pat, when you say you're close, what is the gap that is missing?
I know it. No, I will not tell you. I know. The players know it.
And would a trophy accelerate sort of your journey to... No. In terms of the season that you've had, and you talk about top 8 Champions League and still in 3 competitions, did well in the Champions League until Real, do you need silverware to call this a successful season, or for you, is it already a success?
I said last season, we arrived the final FA Cup against Crystal Palace. We played really good. Many things, and then behind the scenes we could not control. The season was not good. We had not been good, even winning the Crystal Palace. This season maybe was not, I don't know what's going to happen, but the season is a bit more than decent. Of course, if you define the season for the titles, yeah, obviously we need it. But last season, we won the Community Shield, we won the final FA Cup. The season, I would say 2 or 3 months was not good, but many things happened. That was not a team we should be. This season, yeah. This season we have been most of the time a team like, of course, not being perfect, because sometimes happen good.
Hi, Pep. The performances across the season, they seem to have changed at different times. If you think back to like the start of the season in November, when you beat Liverpool and Bournemouth and Dortmund with less possession, quite a lot of counter-attacks. Since Christmas, maybe more control. The last couple of weeks, the second halves have been even more under control. It kind of seems like things are progressing, maybe, if that's the way you want it to go. So in that sense, by the end of the season, maybe next season, how do you want the games to look? What do you think the matches will look like if they've gone from less possession, quite chaotic, to more control?
Well, I think that when they had the less possession in the games, but the second half we drop a lot. Second half, most of the part of the season was not good. The difference lately was much better. Of course, we have to be close. But I think we need that team for the type of players that we have to have more control and what we have to do. What to do as a team, like we have done for many years. But today, the way the team has been played, it's difficult to find all the time the same type of game in the same moments. But I would like to have the feeling that the last 3 games, like it's more during 90 minutes, we have more who we are. So at the end, in many aspects, in Champions League games or here, when we drop, was the second half, and that I think we make a step forward.
In the Leeds game, I know before the Leeds game, you were talking about how football is these days, and then in that game, when you were taking the goal kicks really short, and it was Bernardo and Rodri, loads of touches to try and get around what Leeds were doing. That's obviously the way you want to go. You can still make a clean build-up against teams that press very aggressively. To what extent do you think that really is possible? Because obviously at Leeds you had to stop. It seemed like you stopped doing that after about 20 minutes because it was tough. Do you still think there is a future for that style of football with the way that English football is?
Now with marking it's more difficult to do all the time the good process. You can do it, but all the time you make a type of situation. After 2 or 3 times, the people realize and the people know what you have to do. And now we have to combine more here, more direct. You can all the time do it, but all the time direct, not even is not good. So not good. Everything is good if it works. You know, you can take 1,000 million direct situation, win the second ball and attack. It's fine. So it's not just that aspect. Obviously, I said that to have to control through the ball. That is always have been, will be until the last day in my dream. So have the ball to do it and create chances, because you create 9 minutes for chances against Madrid is because we have the ball. And in the second half, we could not press more intense because Madrid make a good movement, and 10 against 11 against them is more difficult, but we had the ball, we create chances. That is the idea of the type of players that we want to do since the day one until the last day.
I'm really sorry to go back to this, and I didn't plan to, but the way you talked about creating chances through control, in the Bernabeu, I really didn't plan to do this, but in the Bernabeu, you didn't want control. You talked about how you wanted to show the Bernabeu who you are with attacking players. Normally in those games, it's about 1,000 million passes and keeping the games tight. Can I just ask why for that game you decided to attack? Because it did seem very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, I want to show that we want to be a passive team, and I want to know that every time the right side was less with Savio, but in the left side with Jeremy for his special quality, arrive in the byline, 5-6 times. In that moment, I wanted people in the box to try to score a goal and make the feel of players, and make it feel of Bernabeu or whatever, that we come here to try to score goals. What I'm saying, do you think Courtois, except one shot in the 3rd or 4 minutes from Antoine, we arrived, Jeremy, 4 or 5 times, crosses here for the tapping, 6 times, 7 times. So that is a dream for the team, arriving at the byline and cross. But we were not effective. Here we're effective in the terms that Ryan Cherkic shoot 2 times, Tijani another one, and we were there the second half the same, even with 10 against 11. That we were, we tried to look for.
Why, sorry? It just seemed like the one time you wouldn't go for that approach would be Real Madrid away. And I get that that's what you were trying to do. Why did you think this is the moment we need to attack rather than just keep the ball? What was the thing?
I think we keep the ball. I think you keep the ball. In most of the time, especially the second half before the penalty, that again, behind the scenes what happened. So we had the ball, and he as well. So always we tried. Just had the feeling that when we are right there, try to be a more incisive with the strikers that you have, because when I saw, for example, Newcastle 3 days ago, I like it. That was the reason why.
When Mikel went to Arsenal, they weren't particularly considered one of your competitors. It was more Jurgen and Liverpool. I'm sure when Mikel came to you to say, I'm leaving for Arsenal, that you were happy for him personally. But did you have a feeling in that moment that he could be the guy to make Arsenal one of City's competitors? Yeah. Yeah, I know him here. I know his capacity, ability, and it's just if the club trust him a lot, you know, in all many years. So that success when you arrive. Imagine when I arrived here, we didn't win one title in the first season. Said, we didn't win. You can go home, you know. Would not happen. Always the manager have to be the support for a hierarchy, not for the players. The players will never support you when you win. When you don't win, the players normally don't support you. There are exceptional cases, but the players, they are not. It's the hierarchy had to support to make feel to the players that whatever happened, you are there. And I think here happened. That's why the success we have for many, many years. Look at other clubs, how quick change the managers. I'm not naive, I said many times, so I'm here still because we won a lot after the second season. And of course, Mikel won in the beginning, and I think the FA Cup and some Community Shield, but they have not been, but still is there after 6 years, 5, 6 seasons. It's because the hierarchy trusts him, because they, always I said, and I will be sport director, and I will be, I don't know, CEO or the guy who decides who's there. Always I will take a look how they train and how the people and the players talk about the manager, how they work. If it's good and the people is, yeah, that is the word, forget the results. The result will come. But the opposite side is the same. I'm a sport director in a club and they're winning, but the people don't follow the manager, and in the moment the result is bad, must be fired. And I think what happened is because they saw how he works, and the people on top of him, for the American people, decide, okay, that guy has to be the guy who guide us for the next years. That's why we still are there. And is it hard from a personal point of view to watch a guy walk out the door and have you think, I may have just made my own job here at City a little bit harder because he may turn them into a team that I have to deal with?
Try again.
Is it hard from a personal point of view to watch a guy walk out the door and think, maybe I've made my own job here at City a little bit harder because this is a guy that's going to turn Arsenal into one of my competitors?
No, it's not hard, as I said many times. So we have an incredible, huge opportunity. He decided to go there. Always I said that when he was here, I was blessed to work with him and work together, and we had success together. And I had success with Rodo, with Juanma. The club had success with him, without him, and it was so nice for me to work with him. I said, the day was here, the day he left, and after, 6 years, that you are not together. So, and after that, belongs absolutely to him, and what happened there is belong to him and his staff and backroom staff. And the moment he left, zero influence. So the team is completely his stamp. Arsenal stamp is not absolutely away what what we were here, and that take full credit and give credit to him. And yeah, the try is a final, a big challenge for us, and looking forward to take the right decisions, and hopefully, and the players behave in the best way. But he decide I want to leave, who I am to say don't go. The players, the staff, and everyone had to be the freedom. If it's possible to do what they have to do, decide, and well played.
Okay,
thank you.